Men are humans too. And if you just slap a man, he might have a knee-jerk reaction. And now this is escalated, right? You put this man in a situation where just being a human being, you hit him and he just, and now, his freedom is on the line. And so, I think this is a good discussion piece where everybody just needs to keep their hands to themselves. And the government, police, judges, everyone needs to take this issue seriously when the violence is against men.
Okay. Lead, I had a question for you too. Because one of the things that keeps coming up is, when I'm seeing sisters discuss this matter, they're more or less talking style points, right? So they're saying, oh, 3 a.m, how could he put his baby out? Right? Like when he was asking for the young lady to leave his apartment, like, so one of the counterpoints that I had was that, like, so his daughter couldn't stay with him through the morning, like he's not the father.
Exactly.
Then the other thing that I'm hearing, and I just want to get your take on it, and I know the other gentlemen want to chime in too, but the other thing was, why did he have to record it on Instagram Live? Why Instagram? I mean, he just embarrassed her and his family and so on and so forth. And I'm like, but well, wait, you just wanted him to record it privately, and then anything could happen to the phone, or anything could happen in between that time. At least on IG Live, even if he's willing to embarrass himself, his followers got to see it, her followers got to see it. You have some arbitrary form of keeping the evidence in the clouds or something, but there's a record of it, regardless of whether it was on IG Live or just recorded straight to video on his phone. But I hear a lot of people arguing style points, like condemning him for going to IG Live and recording it. So what are your thoughts around that?
Yeah, I think that was great. They're going to condemn him for any little thing that they could find, right? And you're exactly right. You don't want it just to your phone because you don't know what'll happen. I volunteer for the ACLU, especially when they have marches here in Atlanta, and you volunteer to be an observer. And they have a special app that records in real time what you're seeing. So if you see any police brutality or something like that, you can record that, and it is immediately recorded in real time through a live feed up to their servers. So even if the cops see you recording and they come and they take your phone and they smash your phone, there is still video there. So of course he doesn't have that app, right? But I think that's absolutely perfect, because if the baby, streams something through IG Live, someone's going to have a record of it, right? So I thought that was absolutely fantastic. If the woman didn't want to be embarrassed, it's not that he should have stopped streaming on IG Live. She should have acted like she had some sense. If she didn't want to be embarrassed, she should have just went into the back room or left, which would be the best thing. But if you don't want to leave, fine, go to the back room and be quiet. It's not your place. It's not your house. He obviously is not your husband. He's calling you a side chick himself. You're not even his number one, right?
Nope.
So just sit down like you've got some sense. Go put a bra on and tend to your baby, right? There will be nothing for her to be embarrassed about if she acted like she had some sense.
Yeah, I like that. David, let me get your take on this.
Yeah, I mean, I think these are situations that, he's fortunate that he has the resources at his disposal and the attention to handle the situation in the way he does. But the vast majority of Black men across this country, that situation could have escalated in a completely different direction without a record of what happened being on IG Live. For instance, the story that she would have told could have been very different. And the assumption would be made by law enforcement that she's telling the truth, and he would be put on the defensive. So easily, men need to look at these situations and understand the dangers in these situations, and understand that they have very few allies. They don't have allies in law enforcement. They don't have allies among the female population unless they're their relatives. Everybody's just going to be, even when you've done nothing that observably incorrect, the burden of proof is actually going to be against you. You're a Black man. You're assumed that you're guilty. And if she could tell any story in the book, say that he did anything she wants to say, he pulled a knife on me, he did this, he did anything, and they'll assume it to be true, and then they'll handcuff him, and then they'll investigate it after he's handcuffed. They'll handcuff him, put him aside, and start investigating. So he you know, and I've seen this happen, you know, all the time, you know, in different places. So I strongly caution, you know, men that I advise not to take these things very lightly. It's always best to de-escalate. If there's a chance that you could leave the situation, leave the situation. In his case, he called the police himself, and you know what transpired, and I think he's fortunate to, you know, have the resources that he is. But these types of things happen all the time, and you know, men end up locked up after these situations for doing nothing, and that could easily have happened to him. And nobody will care. Nobody will care.
Okay, Trill, what's your take about this?
I mean, I think it's status quo. It's just not fair. Like, it's no way to win for a man, like in a domestic situation. There's no way around it. Like, if she gets out of pocket, gets loud, whatever the case may be, all you can really do is leave. You can try to engage, but that's not gonna go well. If she puts hands on you, you get ridiculed. You put hands on her, you get arrested. You get loud with her, then you're the aggressor. When the police come, she gets loud with you. You just got to take that to the chin. So it's just a situation where, you know, which is why what I practice. None of that raising boy stuff, raise your hand at me, is over with. Like, it ain't no going back. It ain't no playing like that, because now you playing with my freedom. Police come here, I get booked. Now I got a record. I get let go from my job. I get, you know, it's repercussions, especially with somebody like the baby who already got a checkered history. You know what I'm saying? So if the police get there, he done already shot multiple people and, you know, assaulted others and did, you know, whatever the case may be. He got a long track record. So all it would have took, you know, for us to say, hey, you know, he was the aggressor. He automatically getting cuffed and getting booked. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I think he was smart by putting that on live. But it was just interesting to see the reactions. People calling him a coward. And also women that was watching the live saying, oh, if she better than me, if it was me, I would have slapped him when he called me a side chick and this, that, and the third. Like, they encouraging each other to be violent towards the man, right? But then let her would have slapped him and he backhand her across the room. Nah, he the worst person in the world. You know what I'm saying? So, that's why I tell my fellas all the time. For one, stay far away from stuff like that. And if it gets to a domestic situation, press charges. Because by not pressing charges, like, you know, we try to be masculine and stick our chests out and do this and that, but all we doing is just enabling that behavior to continue. So even if we do leave, she gonna feel empowered to do it with the next dude. You put them laws in her life. You know what I'm saying? Apparently her parents did not raise her right. So, you know, it's not your job to do that. Let the police take care of that. She gonna learn her lesson that way. And I bet you next time she gonna think twice about putting her hand on somebody or throwing a knife at somebody or furniture, whatever it is that she got booked for. But yeah, I'm not with that at all. Any domestic violence at all, like, because again, it's a lose-lose for us. We cannot win in that situation. And he did the perfectly right thing, and he's still getting crucified. So that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about.